practices with people like Gunblade who play Mario. So.
Yeah, I mean, and also, you know, Mario is a very common tournament character, but one of the things about Mario is he's very dynamic, that you can play him all sorts of different ways, and I will say that Mr. L is very up smash heavy, especially, you know, at kill percents, I think, when I play against him, every stock he takes is up smash. Like, I mean, that's my fault, because after a while I shouldn't get hit by it. Ooh, nice combos.
Yeah, stringing him along.
And the one thing is that this matchup in particular, I have seen it a decent amount. Oh, that was such a good bomb catch.
Yeah, like I said, he knows his character. He knows when a reflector's coming.
But Toon Link, so he normally is very dangerous when landing with that bomb, but otherwise his landings are not that great. And so if he's like too preemptive and he's like dropping bombs from above, Mario can up smash his landings and really get some mileage out of that. And the thing was, at one point, Mr. L had a lead, and that's gone now already.
Yeah.
And then
you're just talking about the matchup. All of a sudden, Glentendo climbing his way back up there.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I've actually talked to him about. He firmly believes that Link and Toon Link cannot really succeed to their full potential without rage. Because while they do have like these kill setups and they have a high amount of damage, it's like they just get boxed out and zone, like walled pretty much. Like they're supposed to be the ones doing the walling and stuff, but their frame data doesn't necessarily compensate for all the tools that they have.
What I think the issue more is when people start boxing with them, because they have no fast options once you get inside of them.
They get boxed out. So.
Mario, you know, absolutely can, you know, when he gets in, that's it. Good back throw. That was a great read. He was turning around, I think, for the up smash. Like, we saw him turn around, and I think he was about to do, like, you know, a reverse, you know, raw up smash. But the grab coming out, that is one of those few options that actually does beat out Mario up smash. Yeah, normally a very safe move.
To me, what I would say, the dynamic of like a Link or Toon Link player is basically who's going to take the first stock and how do they respond off of that. So like, sure, Mario can rush him down. He can also camp him out if he takes the first stock, because once you take the first stock, if you slip up, it's like you don't really understand the matchup. This is very uncommon. If he takes that stock back, it could be hell for you if you keep trying to box with him, you know?
That is true.
So I would say use the reflector to your advantage kind of thing.
Although, so Mario with the lead, he can sort of camp Toon Link out, but Toon Link has so many projectiles and so many ways to basically win neutral that, you know, if you're at a certain range, it's extremely dangerous against him. Bomb, you know, confirms into all sorts of nasty things at every percent. And if you're trying to camp him out, like, you know, not carefully, all that it, like, you know, if you're not putting on the proper damage, he can even it up really quick.
So, but you got to ask yourself about projectiles versus mobility. Because think about Toon Link's speed compared to Mario's. Like the options and the data they have. Like Toon Link's deceptively like a little faster than you might think. You know, we've seen Shy Guy doing his thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, Toon Link is actually very fast. He's top. He's definitely has a higher run speed than Mario. I'm surprised that shield grab whiffed. But nonetheless, it seems
holding
like
that up there.
Yeah, it seems like Mr. L at this point is starting to get a little greedy. He knows that he needs some big turnaround in order to, you know, take out this game, considering the huge percent deficit between them and the fact that Toon Link at kill percent is so scary.
Nice bomb confirm
you
right there.
have so many options. All Mario needs to do is mess up once at pretty much any range from Toon Link, and he loses a stock.
The situation that just happened there that ended the game for Mr. L, I think, is that he was trying to run away, reset neutral, and like maybe find another safe option, but he committed to something already. Like he did a turnaround forward smash as he was like trying to reset, like change his mobility. Then he just got kadoinked by the bomb and then game over.
I think it might have been a pivot grab, but regardless, we're going now into our game 2 here. Yeah, I think that it's very important how a Toon Link lands, you know, because when he has the bomb, he is so scary. Because, like, Toon Link is one of the very few characters, like, when he's above you, you're kind of scared. Because if he's holding that bomb, he can get, like, bomb to up air and kill you extremely early, or at least tack on some major percent. I am liking the fact that Mr. L is chasing him up there when he, you know, because, like, Toon Link is retreating up vertically, and then at this point, Mr. L trumps him but doesn't get anything off of it. But he's like following him up there, and as long as it works out for him, it's good.
The thing I like about Glenn's Toon Link actually is he comes from somebody that mained Link and then switched to Toon Link and then converted Link into his secondary, which it's like it's so weird. So he doesn't play very gimmick heavy. He plays more on the passive side of things, to where he's just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna find an opening when I get it. But for the most part, he's very passive. He doesn't like go for many unsafe things unless they have like unsafe habits, and he realizes, okay, I can punish this, or like this is working, I can go for it. So like sometimes he'll like randomly throw a boomerang or an arrow, but like for the most part, he's just kind of always holding a bomb. And like then he used the boomerang there to zone himself out, but he's very good with his bomb play for the most part.
Absolutely. There is one thing that I haven't seen so much of him do, which is shield pressure. Now, Toon Link, okay, that's exactly what I was about to talk about, is that Toon Link can throw his bomb at someone's shield and re-catch it with fair, which looks really cool and is actually really, really difficult to deal with as somebody who's on the receiving end of that, because you shield the bomb and you're like, oh, now I can shield this fair, and all of a sudden he's holding a bomb again and you can't risk to just drop shield because you might eat a bomb fair.
It looks like Mr. Eldo is starting to adapt to the bombs that he's starting to throw out. You know, they're constantly getting thrown at him. He's doing a great job just waiting and punishing with his reflector. Like, he's like, in a sense, this is what you could say, like, Mario's camping him out, where he's just kind of waiting for something. So, like, what I was talking about earlier, both styles can work, the rush down and the camp out. It's just a matter of who takes the first stock and how are they going to respond.
Yeah. So I have to say, I think that Glentendo probably has to start mixing up the timings. Great DI into the stage, avoids that spike ending him, and then he gets the roll read into the up smash. He was looking for that for a while.
No, that was really cool. That was good because he literally like purposely ran towards where he was going, and then he read that he was going to go right and throws out the up smash. That's something you see from Mario's a lot to close out stocks. I love watching that read. I don't know. It's an unpopular opinion, but I think it's cool. It's just like a nice little trick that Mario has that says, okay, you're top tier.
I mean, the risk versus reward for it is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
Because
his head's intangible from like frames 8 to 12 or 9 to 12 or something. It's silly.
His head's intangible. He has like, I think it's 40 or 42 frames of end lag on it in total. Like
Leedle.
Yep.
Either way, Glenn actually going to run that back after getting heavily slaughtered right there. I like the idea, but
I think that also a big part of this, who takes the first stock, it's extremely important, because once Toon Link is forcing his opponent to approach, because Mario caping projectiles does not work if he needs to get the kill, because then he's just giving Toon Link more rage, and Toon Link is a character where his combos work better with rage. Both for comboing and for killing. And right now, Mr. L.
That was adorable. Didn't quite get the full conversion, but I like that double bomb and the idea that he had there. This is a really even game all the way through so far. I think that what Glentendo maybe needs to do a little bit more of is, I was just going to say, maybe throw out some arrows, maybe use his sword just a little bit more. You know, Mr. L is staying very much on the ground and not really approaching, so maybe like he could fake him out with like a projectile in, and then like, you know, he's been getting more grabs than he has last game. Maybe if he recognizes his shield, he could like read a shield drop into jab or something.
I mean, I think that that was actually really good, catching the bomb and ending Toon Link's stock with a back air. So the thing with Toon Links, a lot of what they like to do is pressure the opponent into conditioning them to shield, basically with like constant shield pressure, and, you know, not necessarily like punishing for them, because then they get the grab at kill percents. You know, if you've conditioned your opponent to like always shield when you when you're running at them, then eventually it can work out in your favor to get that back throw. But right now, Mr. L has taken this first stock, and let's see if... really good.
Wow,
Questionable.
I think that he DI'd that perfectly.
And that was actually...
I don't know how, but...
That was back air. Back air is actually very weak from Toon Link.
Okay.
It's surprisingly weak, considering how strong fair is. Okay. So even though that was like really bad DI, he managed to live. But I really want to see if Glentendo is able to make a change this time, because we saw last game he lost that first stock, and it really hurt him.
Mr. L... I'm sorry, you continue.
No, you go.
Okay. Mr. L, he's doing a really good job, actually. Last game, when he was in the lead, he was just kind of walling him out with his own projectiles, throwing them right back at him with the cape, doing a lot of that. and then punishing his end lag from a bunch of his moves. Now, what we saw from 0 to 60% with his rage, he actually was rushing him down the whole time. Now he's going in a little bit more. So he's sort of like mixing him up a lot more. He's forcing a more uncomfortable approach options from Glentendo by mixing up his playstyle, which is phenomenal.
This could be really bad. Not going to do it quite yet, but the flood putting him even further out there.
Oh, boy.
Manages to tether back to the ledge. But at this point, this is where things get really, really scary for Toon Link. And I believe... So, Toon Link's bomb confirms are unrelated to rage, but I think they are still deal with percent. But that back throw, that was actually very weird. He flipped him around. I don't know if that was like a read on the cape. But regardless, finally closing out that stock, but it might be too little too late. He's already at 100%. And we do have 2 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, which means that we're probably not going to see a timeout, but there's still...
No, not Mr. L. Not when Mr. L plays.
Not Mr. L, but I'm just
too early to talk about that.
I was just going to say that it means that Toon Link has to approach.
I don't know. I think that Glentendo's done a really good job bringing it back within possibility so far. You know, Mr. L getting a little antsy for this kill right now. He's showing that he's committed to the aggression. He needs to maybe slow down a bit if he wants to close this game out. Otherwise, it could cost him. This is literally anybody's game. Well,
Absolutely.
You were talking about a timeout. I'm talking about a brawl.
So the thing is, he hasn't. Now he's going to start throwing out that up smash because I do not like the jumps. That was really smart, and that's actually it. Wow, that was so smart. Knowing that Mr. L was looking for that up smash, he does a full hop, puts himself above, manages to throw down with the bomb. That bomb can punish that up smash, considering that it's completely separate from Toon Link's body, and he manages to go down, get the read, and gets the forward smash, clutching out that game. You don't see that happen a lot. A lot of the time, Toon Link players, after they end up with a huge deficit like that, they really struggle to, close it out. But we see there, I think Mr. L's aggression really came around to hurt him.
Yeah.